During World War II, while the world focused on massive battles and political alliances, one of the darkest and most disturbing chapters in human history was unfolding in secret. It was known as Unit 731, a covert division of the Japanese Imperial Army established in occupied China. Officially, it was presented as a research facility focused on disease prevention and water purification, but in reality, it became a center for biological warfare experiments carried out on human beings. Thousands of prisoners, including civilians, were brought to this facility and used as test subjects without consent. These individuals were often referred to as logs, a dehumanizing term that reflected how they were treated, not as people, but as disposable materials for experimentation. The goal of Unit 731 was to study the effects of extreme conditions and develop biological weapons that could be used in warfare. Researchers conducted experiments involving deadly pathogens such as plague, cholera, and anthrax, deliberately infecting subjects to observe how diseases spread and how long it took for the body to fail. In some cases, individuals were exposed to freezing temperatures to study frostbite, with limbs left untreated to observe the full progression of tissue damage. Many procedures were performed without anesthesia, as researchers wanted to observe real physiological reactions to pain and trauma. The conditions inside the facility were harsh and controlled, designed to maximize data collection while ignoring human suffering. What makes this history even more disturbing is not only the nature of the experiments, but the scale and organization behind them. Unit 731 operated with significant resources, trained personnel, and direct support from military leadership. It was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader effort to explore biological warfare capabilities during a time of global conflict. As the war progressed, some of the weapons developed were reportedly tested in real-world conditions, with devastating consequences for nearby populations. Entire communities were exposed to disease outbreaks linked to these experiments, leading to widespread illness and death. Despite the secrecy, evidence of these activities began to surface as the war came to an end. When Japan surrendered in 1945, many of the facilities were destroyed in an attempt to eliminate proof of what had taken place. However, the story did not end there. In the years following the war, a controversial decision was made by the United States. Instead of prosecuting many of the scientists involved, some were granted immunity in exchange for the data they had collected during their experiments. This decision has been widely debated, as it allowed individuals connected to these actions to avoid accountability while their research was quietly absorbed into post-war scientific and military programs. For decades, the full extent of Unit 731 remained largely hidden from public knowledge. Survivors' stories were often ignored, and documentation was limited or classified. It was only years later that historians began to piece together the details, revealing the true scale of what had occurred. Today, Unit 731 is recognized as one of the most disturbing examples of how science and war can intersect in dangerous ways when ethics are abandoned. It raises important questions about responsibility, accountability, and the limits of scientific research. The legacy of Unit 731 is not just about the past, but about understanding the consequences of decisions made during times of conflict. It serves as a reminder that progress without morality can lead to devastating outcomes. While history often focuses on battles and victories, stories like this reveal a deeper and more complex reality, one where the greatest dangers are not always visible, but hidden behind closed doors, justified by fear, ambition, and the pursuit of power.